Hey, this is Marjorie. And in case you're wondering why I'm wearing this baseball cap, it's because like I really need a haircut. Keeps falling in my eyes and just haven't gone around to that yet. Anyway, in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about setting your expectations for time. For this is going to be in relation to gardening specifically. So when you're setting up your garden at the beginning of the season, you should probably expect about 40% of your time is going to be in setting everything up. So this is going to be adding compost, transplanting in plants, or even getting your starter plants going, or adding in some nutrients, getting the garden bed ready, maybe doing some weeding or whatever you need to do, right? In some cases, it might be building the garden bed. And then about 20% of your time is going to be, and especially if I'm hoping you're using the raised bed system that I've been recommending to, the one that's 2 cinder blocks high and 12, 13 feet long and 4 or 5 feet wide. They're great. You can sit on the edge. I think you've seen that over at the, yes, the free webinar, the free webinar at backyardfoodproduction.com, where I'll teach you how to grow half of your own food in your backyard. Even if you have no experience, you're older and you're out of shape. Oh God, sometimes I hate myself for that. Anyway, in the garden, about 40% of the time at the beginning of the season, or the beginning of every growth season, and hopefully you got more than one, you're going to be doing stuff like that, maintaining the bed, pulling out weeds, adding compost, getting stuff ready, doing the transplanting in, maybe getting irrigation set up, whatever you need to do to get the thing set up. And it takes a bit of time. Usually that's done like here and there over a couple of weekends, something like that. Then 20% of the time is during the grow season. You can be doing some weeding, watering. Watering should only take you like 2 or 3 minutes to water that bed every day with a nice spray hoser. And it's a great time to look at what's going on. If you've got it on an automatic system, that's great. But, I really recommend doing it by hand when you're there. But, it takes a little bit of time, and there's going to be a little bit of weeding to do. Part of the reason I recommend that system in the raised beds is eventually the plants grow and crowd out any possible weeds, so it really cuts down on weeding. You can be watching for insect damage and handling that if you need to. And this is the shocker to most people, is that it's about 40% of the time is in harvesting and processing. Really, I don't know how many times somebody's, so I started this whole garden, it's growing really well, and, if you want to go in there and harvest all the tomatoes, take as much as you want, I just don't have any. I'm like, what? You grew all of this? I mean, really, I've scored in a bunch of gardens before. People just, didn't want to do the work of harvesting. Hey, cat, what's up? Okay, so I want to show you what I got here. These are gandules. These are beans. And here in Puerto Rico, we have a tree called the gandule tree, which is basically like a green bean tree. And you can either pick them when they're fresh and eat them like green beans, or what I've done is I wait until they've dried and I harvest them now. And so, there's this job of cracking them open and getting the beans out. Now, some people do this driving over them in a driveway or when you got a huge amount of them. I really honestly just prefer cracking it open, letting the things drop out. Well, normally I take the shells and put them like in a container somewhere so I can save myself that work. And you might go, oh, that's so tedious and all that. And you know what, though? This used to be work that family would do together on a porch, and they'd all be shelling beans, and somebody would be telling, oops, I did the wrong, I put the beans in the wrong one. Somebody will be telling stories, catching up with each other. You're sitting there on the porch talking, and you're doing something useful. You're shelling the beans. And a little modern day version of that is, I often, when I'm doing it, is I'll have, a good friend on the phone, just talking to him. Have a really nice, juicy phone conversation. Like with my brother. Used to do it with my daughter Kimber. We used to both have like a house cleaning time where we'd have these long, juicy 2-3 hour conversations while we're both cleaning up the house and tidying it up. And it's not quite the same as being together, but it's pretty dang close. By the way, we're not talking right now, and apparently that's a mother-daughter thing, which I'm discovering, and I'm vaguely remembering when I was a daughter, we did that, and now that I'm a mother, I'm like, damn, I hate it. But, this is what we're doing. Anyway, so yeah, so a really good phone call with a friend, and while you're processing it, I've also found that canning and that kind of thing is just so much more fun to do with a group of people. Get you two, three other, four other, friends or family members or whatever, just doing this kind of handwork together. So that's a summary of the breakdown, right? You're going to be doing a chunk of time in the beginning. Throughout most of the growing season, there's really not that much to do. And then at the end, the harvest and processing is just set your mind mentally that that's a thing. The harvesting and the processing, by the way, is the time to bring in kids. They love it. They love doing that. They may not like the processing as much, but they definitely love the harvesting. And yeah, that's some of my favorite memories. Potatoes, when you're digging potatoes, the processing on that's not that hard. You just kind of rinse them off. And we would have a competition, who had found the biggest one, and who found the littlest one, and who's got the ugliest one, and who's got the one that looks the most like Uncle Frank, that kind of fun. So, definitely get the family involved. But that's, just want to set your expectations so you realize, what you're getting into. And so 40, 20, 40. And that's it. And, growing your own food, you're going to find it to be one of the most rewarding things that you ever do. And if you want to see that webinar, I'll pitch it again. Why not? Backyardfoodproduction.com. Okay, I'll see you on another video.